So we have had fishing added to LEGO Fortnite, and I'm going to be showing you everything you need to be able to fish and get the best fish in the game. So starting things off, you need a rod. So if you go over to your crafting bench, once you have managed to go all the way down, you should then have the basic, the rare, the uncommon, the rare, and also the epic. So the way that you do this is, if you haven't already seen, in the cord on the right, that has changed. So if you go over here, you should then find cord here. Once you've got that, you should then get the basic, and then naturally as you progress through, you should then get more and more. So knot root rod, you'd be able to then go for the uncommon, then you go flexwood rod, you'd get the rare, and finally the frostpine rod will get you the epic rod. So that's one step. You need the rod to fish. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So to start with, you can go and fish normally, which I'm going to cut to now. So once you've found your water, you should see some different sights. So you can see the purple thing over there. You can just generically fish in here. You just wait for the bit to go. It will tell you how to do it as well. It won't just kind of leave you in the lurch. So as you see, reel it in, you'll get yourself a fish. I have got one extra bit of information you might not have known, but we'll leave that to the end of the video. So in terms of what fish you can get, you basically, if you're in creative mode, if you want to have a look at them, you can see them in the resources at the bottom here. We've got the blue flopper, the blue small fry, green flopper, orange flopper, black and blue shield fish, you have the cuddle jellyfish, you have the purple thermal fish, raven thermal fish, silver thermal fish. There's a lot of different fish. Slurp jellyfish, blue slurp fish, molten spicy fish, purple slurp fish, and yellow slurp fish. Then also the Vendetta flopper. You also then have the legendary fish, which is the black and blue shield fish, the blue. Obviously these are all just the extras, so it's like a one step up. So they're almost sort of trophy items more than anything. So as you see in my inventory, we managed to get at least one. You can do it just in here. You don't actually need a bait bucket or anything. You just have to fish. So it is just as simple. You can do it on the ground as well. I've just got a higher kind of zone because there was a little zone here. So if you do see one of these purple bait kind of sections, it will basically be a free bait pool as such. So what I like to do with them here is personally just build anything upwards so that I know I can get my rod over there. So for instance, if I'm going here, I know that I can go and just lob it there. And basically this allows you to use this bait pool without actually having to get a bait bucket. So we'll go over the bait bucket in a second, but as you can see, straight away we've got a different sort of fish. This one's going to be a blue slurp fish. But the one thing is, there is different types depending on where you're actually casting your rod. Are you looking for gift cards, game keys, and more? Head over to U7Buy for a variety of cards you can get today. From PSN, Steam, all the way to Xbox. With huge amounts of price variations, check the link in the description for cheap, reliable digital cards for you right now. But it's always a good start to at least go with kind of the pond to start with, because you want to get some fish, mainly because that is how you go and get bait. As you can see, sometimes it can be a little bit more tricky to get them. Sometimes they will flee, and also you will get times where you'll pick up some rubbish from it. It won't actually be a fish, it'd be a vine or something like that. So it isn't always guaranteed to be a fish, but you've got to get bait as well. I'm going to show you right now what the bait actually can look like and also do, but also you can, well, I'll show you how to make it as well. You want to throw it, use an LT, into the river, that's the rod, RT, and it will basically do this. So this is what I'm on about. This is basically a bait pool. Obviously the bait bucket you can throw wherever you want in the pool, so you can be a little bit closer, and you can obviously do it from the ground. You don't always have to build stairs, but this is going to work as the same kind of way as the other one. You just literally throw in, and it should give you a better selection of fish depending on where you're going, but it also should just give you a place to be able to get something as well. So as you can see, predominantly in this pond, we're getting blue slurp fish, and we're also getting the, the flopper. So that is roughly what you're going to get. You may get lucky with some sort of rarer fish, but it can take time, and there is other places to go that I'll show you. So how do you get bait buckets? So straight away, what you want to be doing is going and getting the new food processor. So this is plank, bone, wooden rod, and granite. Every sort of material that realistically, if you're playing this game quite a lot, you'd have had by now. Then you also want, just as a little extra, is a juicer. Again, pretty standard, plank, marble slab, and knot root. You will get them both here. So what you've got with a food processor is once you put in a fish, so for instance, if I go and put my orange floppers in here, we'll then go and get some fish, the fish fillets. So these are going to be what's from just generic orange floppers. If I was to, for instance, go ahead and put in a blue slurp fish instead, you'd get some slurp fish, you'd get some slurp juice as well as the fish fillet. If I was to go with a green flopper, it is just the standard, but you get 2 fish fillets. And if you was to go and get, say, the legendary, that's going to give you 5. So you could see the kind of difference. Then a Vendetta flopper is going to give you some gunpowder as well. So if I was to go ahead and put in some floppers, we'll actually get 2 from these actually. So once you kind of let them go a little bit, you'll then be able to have the fish fillets. You can use these in normal food as well, but what we are going to be utilizing these for is once we've got this in, so there we go, we'll take all there and then we'll also take them out. You can then put the fish fillets back in to make bait buckets. So now you're probably thinking, well, that's great. I got a common bait bucket. How on earth do I get the rare, the uncommon, and also the epic? So once you've got a couple of these, this is where the juicer comes in handy. So for instance, we're going to take all 3 here. We're going to head to the juicer, and this is where you're going to find these. So you will need to have had vines and raspberry. You need to have corn kennel, pepper seed, pumpkin seed, and then also slap juice and also a spicy burger. These are going to be what's going to make a bait bucket, but of a better variety. So obviously you've got your uncommon, you've got your rare, and you've also got your epic. So if I assign this, obviously then if you've got all the ingredients, you can put it in, but you will need 1 bait bucket at a minimum. So that is why I said it's always good to go fishing straight away, because then you can obviously utilize all of these. You can just use common. It is just basically to just attract more fish. So as you kind of read them, if we go to the inventory, when you look at the epic one, throw in the water to attract fish, it is the same, you just get a better fish. So that is the basics of fishing. You've got the fishing rod that you get from the crafting table, you find a pond, think that's pretty self-explanatory. You then have the food processor and juicer to make different levels of bait buckets, and also you can get your fish fillets, and you can also get slurp juice. But what's that added bit of information? And the biggest thing that you can find whenever fishing is in caves. These are going to be fantastic little places that you can go. I don't believe that you can put bait buckets in them because they are a bit shallow, but you can normally find some sort of like fishing spot that you'll find fish in. So this is another great one where you can find a lot of the better fish. Obviously, you're not going to really find this too heavily in the desert because predominantly that is going to be lava filled rather than water filled. So normal Greenland, you will find some as well in the Frostlands that do have these fish as well, or these ponds, because it isn't necessarily all ice, but again, it's going to be mainly Greenlands that you'll find these in, and then just streams going through the desert. That's going to be another place where you'll find a lot of fish. But you will find a lot of the standard fish, and then kind of the blue slurp fish is kind of the next step up. Anything more than that, you have literally just got to be lucky at times. You can find them like the Vendetta fish I found in a cave like this, just a standard fishing spot, and it is just fishing until you can do it basically. So it is just sitting here and doing it, getting the baits for obviously the better fish in the lakes, and then obviously just changing your spot and you'll find more and more. But that is everything you really need to know about fishing. Let me know if there's any tips and tricks that you want to hear about, or if you've got some for me, leave it in the comment section below. Take care.